What's up, everybody? Thanks for joining me this Wednesday morning as we jump into the road to 100K part 2. Let's do a deep dive. If you're a brand new agent running to make this threshold, or an experienced agent trying to break a new barrier, or if you're an agent like so many of you are who've already hit this threshold, take these principles and apply them to hit the next level, 2, 3, 400 and on up. Beautiful thing about this career, about this company, about our opportunity here, is there's no cap. You can make as much or as little as you want to achieve. And so let's dive in to part 2 on this Wednesday morning training call. Verse of the day, all right, is Exodus 14:14. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. All right, the Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Sometimes the best way to have a breakthrough in your day and in your business is to just let go of it. Let go of it. Have faith, right? He's going to fight for you. He wants peace, prosperity, all of his promises that he put in the Bible for you. That doesn't mean life's going to be easy. Doesn't mean we don't need to work hard, but he knows what's going to happen. He knows the success that's waiting for you, right? And so think about that verse. He will fight for you. You need only to be still. So let's talk about it, guys. Part 2 to making 100K as an agent. How do you break that 6-figure threshold? All right. On Monday's call, we talked about input versus output, about what you put into your mentality, right? How you encourage yourself, how you change that attitude compared to what you're getting out of your business, right? 100K of effort is going to equal 100K of income, and so forth. On today's call, we're going to talk about a little bit more practical concept, something that could make or break you from earning 100K in deposits from your commissions, from your sales. And that is leads. Some of you cringe when I say this. Some of you get excited when I say this word. But this is the pipeline. This is what goes into fulfilling your calendar, like we talked about on Monday's call. What should your lead game plan be to make $100,000 in deposits in the next 12 months? Okay, let's break it down in simple terms for you. Leads. Guys, leads as an agent, especially as a new agent, are intimidating. It forces you to purchase something to get the output that you're looking to achieve, right? And it forces you to invest into your business. And guys, when it comes to leads, you can have two mentalities towards it. You can have the scarcity mindset of, I can't afford them. I can only afford a little bit. Let me scoop up 5 of them today and 2 of them tomorrow, right? And you could have that mentality, or you could have the mentality of, I'm going to invest. I'm going to put a bunch of money, right? You don't even have to say a bunch, $100, $200, $300, you name it, whatever a bunch is to you, into leads, because I know that I'm going to return a profit on what I invest into those. That second type of mentality is going to get you wealthy in this industry. The first type of mentality is going to keep you broke. All right. And this is the difference between agents who hit 100K, 200, 300, they move on, right? And agents who stay stuck, is their investment into their business. Think about any business that you go to on a daily basis. Think about the grocery store. The owner of that grocery store had to invest in the real estate, had to pave the parking lot, probably had to buy tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars, heck, if not millions of dollars of supplies, food, shelving, lights, coolers, freezers, you name it. Think about the effort, the money, and the input they had to put into that in order to get the output, which is profit, right? When people go shopping, think about when you go to the convenience store. The owner of that convenience store had to buy the coffee that's on that shelf, right? He had to buy the candy bars. He had to do all of these things to get that store ready to turn a profit. And your business is no different. If you do not input The supply, you're never going to get an output, all right, from that because you don't have anybody to talk to. You don't have anybody to sell. Now, I know it's a hard concept, right? Because sometimes you come into this industry, maybe you lost your job. Maybe you didn't make good financial decisions. Maybe you just don't have a lot of resources to get started. That's why I love this business, because you can start it with so little and turn it into something so big if you go about it the right way. So let's break down some leads. Guys, you've got older leads, right? You have digital leads, you have brand new direct mail leads. On average, the lead cost is going to run you $1 or $2 per lead for some of the digitals or the age or the different scoring ones, right? And all the way up to $39, right, for a direct mail lead, brand new direct mail. What should you be investing your money in? What should you be investing your time in? What kind of input do you need to put into your business in terms of those leads to get out $100,000 of deposits? All right. There's stepping stones to leads. So if you're a brand new agent, you don't have a lot saved up yet, maybe you've not made a lot of deposits yet, right? You're just getting started. I don't want you to go drop $39 on a lead because you got to practice. You maybe aren't that great at the door approach, at the presentation. It's a lot easier to get told no at a door that you spent $1 for than one that you spent $40 for. Okay, that'll make you want to cry real quick. On the opposite side of that, if you're an experienced agent, you know what you're doing. Why on earth are you wasting your time on old leads? Get you some new leads, trust yourself, invest that money. It's going to come back to you, right? So it's a stepping stone process. But I'll tell you what I did as a brand new agent. I just scooped up a bunch of cheap leads. Quantity is more important than quality when it comes to door-to-door sales. You have to talk to enough people to get an output. All right. I don't care if you're the best agent in the world and you go buy 10 brand new direct mail leads, the most you're going to sell out of that, right, is 10 people. If you go 10 for 10, that's great. What if you bought 150 old leads that cost you the same amount of money? Sure, some of them are going to be duds. They're not going to live there anymore, whatever. But out of 150, I bet you closed 20 of them. You still made more money having a higher quantity than a higher quality. You see what I mean? So my rule for leads is I want to have enough that I'm booking 7 to 8 appointments every single day. To do that, I probably need 50 to 100 leads. So I'm financially, if I can only buy the $1 or $2 leads, hey, sweet. I'm going to scoop up 100 leads for $2 each. It's $200. I'll probably close 15 out of that batch. Roll it over, right? Easily make my money back plus some, get a high output, and I'm going to do it over again and over again and over again until I have enough money where I can buy the brand new leads. So, guys, input for leads is going to be a direct reflection, all right, of what you see hit your bank account. As a new agent, if I was dried up and I'm looking at my account, I'm like, I've not gotten any deposits in yet. What's going on? The very first thing I did was buy more leads. All right. And it's so important for you as an agent to understand this. You have to have so many people to talk to that it does not matter how many of them tell you no. See, when I would go out in the field, I would have more leads than I could even physically that was physically possible to drive to in a given day. I couldn't even get to all of them. It would have been impossible. That's how many leads I wanted to have going into every single day. I wanted my Road Warrior app to just look ridiculous. Like every 5 feet, there was another lead that I had to knock on their door. What that does for you guys, it forces you to talk to enough people. And if you put in enough effort, you talk to enough people, you're going to make a sale every single day. It's literally impossible not to. All right. If you put yourself out there and you don't quit until you sell one, you're not going to lose. All right. But see, agents limit themselves by how many leads they have going into the day. Now, I understand why. A lot of you might have came from W-2 world where you did not have to invest into your business. It's foreign to you. It's scary. Guys, take that hat away. That's not where you are anymore. You're a business owner. You need to invest in order to get a return. If you put nothing in, you will get nothing out. Plain and simple. And the beautiful thing about this job, guys, the average final expense policy, and I'm gonna make this low, I would say pays you around $400, $400 to $500 of a commission, right? You go out there, I think the average AP per policy is about $70 to $80 a month. Last time I just averaged out production, 70 to 80 bucks a month. You multiply that times 12 months, because that's what you get paid on, right? You get your advancement, but don't forget, you get that back end money the rest of those months up to a year too. So let's say you sell that thing, you got 105% comp with Seeka's day one plan. I mean, you do the math on that. $70, $80 is making you at least $500, $600, $700 off that one policy. So if you go into that knowing that, why would you not? I'd invest $200 a day into leads, because I know if I just close one of them, I've doubled what I put in. I put X in and I got a bunch back. That would be like me calling you out on this call and saying, hey, if you give me $100, I'm going to turn around and give you $200. You would do that in a heartbeat. I would do it in a heartbeat. Why are we not doing it with the leads? Because the return's even higher than that. My first year as an agent, and granted, everyone's results will differ, right? Based off how good you are, all of that. But my return for every dollar that I put into leads, I brought back about $8 in profit. That means if I put in $100 worth of old leads, I made $800 back. Guys, you got to get in that mindset. You got to get in that mentality. I broke down the math. Every single door I knocked on, regardless if they told me yes or no, I profited $20. If you go into that today, how many doors would you knock on, right? If you knew if Miss Betty opens up that door and slams it in your face, boom, you still made $20 when you take the average of your income compared to how many doors you've knocked on. That's what it was for me my first year. When I learned that by tracking my business, it was a game to me. How many doors can I knock on in a given day? All right. And if you're brand new, let's say you got $50, right? Hey, $50 is what I can put into leads. Let's say that $50 gets you 20 leads, right, off of Lead Center. If you knock on every neighbor, you just turn that 20 leads into 40. See, activity and the input you put in to that activity is going to get you the output that you want to achieve. The difference between an agent who struggles and an agent who makes $100,000 plus a year is that agent that makes that is focused on activity and they're multiplying what they're putting in. 40 leads, I'm knocking on every neighbor. Now I've got 80 leads. If there's neighbors on both sides, boom, just doubled it up again, right? You have to input effort and money and investment into leads if you want to succeed. And guys, this should be a stepping stone for you, because if you have an age lead, you have to work a little bit harder to close those, because if you buy 100 of them, probably 25% of those will be duds. They moved, they're not there anymore, wrong data, whatever the issue is. If you invest in brand new direct mail leads, you have like their handwriting and signature and they filled it out 2 weeks ago. There's a very high likelihood that person's going to remember it. When you get there, they know who it is. It's easier to get into the door with that, right? So grow your business up, right, guys? We're in an office right now. When we started this company, we did not have that. Worked out of Starbucks. All right. I don't want to let our secrets out. Starbucks probably going to charge me some rent after hearing this, but we built this company in the first few months off of working in a Starbucks coffee shop, right? Until we could build things up and get the office and get this and that. It's a stepping stone. Your business is the same way when it comes to leads. Last thing with leads, guys, if you want to be a 100K earner, you have to be consistent with how many leads you have going into every single week. You cannot go into a week, 1 week where you got 15, next week you got 50, week after you don't have any. You're working the same leads you worked last week. Like, do not do that. Every week, you need to be getting a consistent amount of leads. I think for $9 a lead, you can set up a real-time campaign through the lead center and just boom, every week you're getting them in. Now, sure, some will be dud leads. It is what it is. But on average, you're making your money back if you're working this the right way. So you have to be consistent. Show me an agent that has a consistent lead flow. I'll show you an agent that has a consistent income. Show me an agent that has an inconsistent lead flow, and I can guarantee you their income is all over the place. All right. And they're like, I need a W-2 because I don't make money consistently selling insurance, because you're not working consistently, right? Like, what are you doing? Right. If I only work out when I feel like it, my body's not going to change. I got to do that every single day. Leads are the same way, guys. If you want consistency, if you want to hit 100K in income, you got to sit with enough people. Last thing on this call for you. How many leads do you need to make 6 figures this year? I'm going to break it down to how many presentations you should be doing. You need to be sitting with at least 3 people every single day. 3 presentations. If you're selling on the phone, you need at least 5 presentations. All right, but let's tackle this for in-person agents right now. 3 people a day, 15 a week. Any less than that, the chances of you making 100K in a year are not great, right? So how do you sit with 3 people a day? You need at least 20 leads going into every single day. Because if I go into a day with 20, 10 of them will not be at home. They're at the doctor's, whatever, shopping. I'm going to knock on that door and nobody's going to answer. That leaves me with 10 more. 10 will answer the door on average, and 5 of those 10 will tell me to get lost. Don't want it, not interested. I didn't do that. Take me off your list, whatever it is. I'm sick, right? That leaves me with 5 good presentations for that day. Now, that's a law of averages, right? Some days, guys, you're going to go out and the first 5 people you knock on lets you in, and it's an easy day. Other times it's going to be hard, but on average, if I have 20 leads, half won't be at home, half will tell me to go kick rocks. I'll present to half, and I'll close half of those. So if I sit with 5 people today, I'm probably going to close 2 of them, 3 of them. Put those numbers in your favor. If you follow that roadmap, that is the roadmap that allowed me to make over 100K in the first 12 months. It was that simple. Every day, 20 leads, right? Boom, boom, boom. That's all I did. So what's that? 100 leads a week? Guys, you can get leads on Lead Center for $2 a lead. That's $200, right? If you close 10 in a week, you do the math at how much you returned off of that. Get consistent. That's going to lead you to 100K. We'll wrap this series up on Friday. Appreciate you guys for jumping on here. Post where you're at so far for halftime in the WhatsApp chat so I can give you guys some shout outs, and we will be back here on Friday.